Greetings and welcome to the Lab 4 walkthrough. The first thing I'd like to show you is here I am in PHP Notice that I have the bookstore database already built, and within it I have the books table. This is the default database and table that you should be using. I will start with this exact build for each lab, so do not change anything within the names of either the database name or specifically any of the field names of the table itself, because I will start with each person's with this exact database. What I'm going to do is a walkthrough. We know about fields and whatnot. Do check the price field though. So you notice that this is a float, and look at the prices and notice, for example, the PHP programming with a MySQL book is definitely a float, but doesn't have all of its decimal places. I just want to point that out. Um, so here are three books that we'll start with. Now, one thing I want to say about this lab before we get into looking at the lab itself is I have taken the simplest approach possible. There are some better ways to do this. Um, for example, I have many of the files here that I talked to you in the assignment that you could have. There are ways to use many more functions. You can actually get this down to 2 PHP pages with some various includes. But I have done it at the most simplest um, level to talk you through each piece. And I will note as I go along some things that you can add. So let's go ahead and start off here. Here is my Lab 4 main page. I can add to my Bronco bookstore. Notice I also have some navigation here. I have a little bit of CSS for some items here. I can go right to the book inventory, which should only show my 3 books. And sure enough, here they are. Book inventory system, books. And notice the prices, notice the zeros there. Okay, so and I say I returned 3 records with 8 fields. And do pay attention as you go through this, as well as in the directions, what fields should show and how they should be organized, because I will be looking for that in particular. Okay, so what fields will show, as well as how they are organized, in what order, as well as their sorts. Okay. Let me go back to add a book and go ahead and try to add a book without putting anything in there. And of course, we have validation occurring, right? So I put all of the error messages here. Um, it would have been better, as I've said in the previous lab, to first say the field ISBN 13 is required, right? And not put the please enter one, 13 digits long, right? And to have these at multiple levels instead of having all of the errors pop up at once. But like I said, this is the baseline level what I'm doing here. So for example, if I just put 12, right, and hit submit, um, the one field to require the ISBN 13 disappears, but we will want, it still asks for 13 digits. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so if I hit submit, it does disappear. Notice we have sticky data. So let's go ahead and making more sandwiches, and notice as I go through here that items disappear and sticky forms are in place. So I'll go through some of these here. Now, genre here, I can enter anything. Might be nice to have a drop down so that I can limit the genre to maybe 5 or 6 categories instead of relying on the user to type it in, right? But I am doing minimal, but this would be a wonderful place for a drop down list so that we could limit user input. So I'm going to put cooking, publisher, uh, all right, copyright year, let's say I put 2. It says please enter a year similar to 1999. So I'll put 2000. This is one of Bubba's earlier books here. and price. Okay, so everything should be fine now. Notice I didn't put a dollar sign. Let me here hit submit. Excuse me, hit submit. And I have a data entry confirmation page that actually says, hey, this is what I've entered. Even adds a dollar sign there, so I know that the price and everything's right, and one record has been written. So let me go to book inventory and see if it's actually there, right? I've said the record's been entered, but have I written it to the database? Let's see. Let's go to book inventory and query, and sure enough, there it is, right? Now notice it's organized. I will say, by a certain field here. Everything is in place here, including the ISBN is showing in this one, and we have the prices. Okay, so here's our new one here, making more sandwiches, right? Kiki Press in 2000. All right. Now, so some of these are going to be somewhat simple. We have, let's say, for example, we have two cooking, a programming, and a science fiction. So let me go ahead and say select by genre. And so let me enter cooking. Now once again, this would be a great place for a drop-down menu, and let me show you why. I hit cooking, and sure enough, it shows me two cooking. Notice the ISBN's not there anymore, right? Nor, to be honest, is the cooking field. Why? Well, because these are all the books in the cooking category, so why show the cooking field, right? There's really no reason, okay? And do note how the books are organized, okay? Now here's why I say a drop-down menu might be nice. Let's say I want to do the science fiction, and I accidentally type something like that, right? Capital C. I'm going to get an error, okay? Because I didn't type it correctly. This is why drop-down might be nice here, right? If I do enter it correctly, I only have one, David Weber on Basilisk Station, which, by the way, very good book. That's a series, but anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Once again, notice the category is not showing. Okay, let me go to another select one. Choose books published before a certain date. So let me go ahead and put 2011. Hit submit. Okay, notice year published, how it's organized. We just have the year published here. These are all before 2011, right? We don't have all the fields showing, but notice it's organized by one field versus perhaps another field we might use in other cases, okay? Or name fields or whatever. So be very particular. Why am I asking you to do this? Because you're writing different SQL queries for each one of these, okay? Let's go back to inventory. Now, let's say, for example, that Bubba Jones making more sandwiches has become hard to find, right? It's a 2000, and so we want to make it more expensive, right? Limited copies, right? So change book price. Now I've asked for the ISBN and the new price. Well, I don't remember the ISBN. So once again, there could be a bit more complicated query to pull these ISBNs and populate them. Um, that's up to you if you'd like to try to do that or not, but I'm going to go ahead and say I'm just going to copy this ISBN and go here to change the book price. Notice it's $23.42. Maybe it's become a collector's edition, okay? And I'm going to make this 450 bucks. Submit. Now, did it work? Here's the books inventory, um, and making more sandwiches. Definitely up at the top, right? Went way up to the top there, so we probably know how the book price display is sorted, right? So it's now become a very expensive book. I go back to the books inventory. It's not at the top anymore because there's a different sort going on here, but it is still $450. Okay, so I've looked at all these except yet deleting a book, right? Which is basically deleting a record. So I'm going to still do it by ISBN. And let's say these were popular, there are only so many of them, and I am sold out, cannot get them anymore. So I'm going to type this in and hit submit. Notice my books inventory, it is gone. I'm showing by ISBN in the books inventory now, simply because if I would like to delete some more, that'd be very nice because it's right here for me. I don't have to go back to my main books inventory page. So I have my ISBN here, right? And make sure you take a look at how I talk about this would be perhaps what fields are shown here. This is one of the few where we have an ISBN field, um, as well as the book's inventory. And notice they can change. They don't have to be in the same order. You'll notice in a lot of them, usually one of the first fields is maybe where you organize, or it doesn't have to be, right? But that's somewhere that we're used to looking left to right. So I've gone through all of the items here in terms of adding a book, selecting by genre, selecting by year, deleting, changing, book inventory itself. These are all SQL queries running in the back here, right? Now, if I were to go back to the database, of course, we would just have these 3 books. So let me finish by going and adding um, another book. Actually, I think I'll just go ahead and, since I have this here, let's say I got some more from Bubba. Let's say it's making more sandwiches, um, second edition. It was so popular that he made another one. Still the cooking genre. Uh, he's gone, Kiki Press is still doing it. And this is going to be published next year. And they're going to go for $45 and 99 cents. Okay, so I submit it. I get my confirmation again. We go back to my book inventory, and it's here, right? So, you don't have to believe me, but it is in the database. So let's go look. Is it showing yet? Well, no, I have to refresh here. Sure enough, if I look here, here is the new record written right into the database, right? So the database is tracking what's going on here at any point in time. Thank you. That was a Lab4 walkthrough. We'll talk about it quite a bit in class, and I hope this was helpful.